Yeah, people. When it comes to
money is money. Like people are
Yeah.
going to be willing to finance stuff. All right, and we are back at it
Yeah.
again. So yeah, our little pre-talk we were just talking about. I guess buying cars and financing and
Yeah,
stuff like that. So
finances.
kind of an interesting thing. So
Old man talk.
just his car. No, I'm just So, all right. Yeah. So we decided to go ahead and record today. We were just talking about it. The conclusion of I think it was South Dakota State University and North Dakota State University had their as Ben called it, since he went to SDSU, the Battle of the Border or the Border Duel or whichever, which I thought was a cool name for a duel for their thing. I'm going to let everybody know we're going at it again. But and then obviously Iowa and Oklahoma State wrestled again just the other night, and I think that one was the later of the two, so that was like really the official end to.
I wish something
to the season.
small.
Huh?
Like I wish there was something small to indicate they're always like an end to a season, like South Carolina, SDU versus North Dakota State, like something like that.
Yeah.
Or like, maybe it would be cool to have that one thing every year is going to happen at the very end. It's going to be the very last match to kind of look forward to. I don't know.
It would be nice for the. I don't know. To tradition or to set a tradition or to do it would be like I don't know. I still wish there was a dual national champ, a dual team national champ.
Yeah,
and it still bothers me that they haven't. They've tried different ways to do it. They've done different ways. They've done Big Ten versus non-Big Ten rankings. They've tried to kind of like do the tournament style type thing. But whatever it is, I guess they haven't had the buy-in from all the teams or whatever.
I guess because it being so close to.
That was the thing. Like I think something happened one year where somebody got injured at one of those duels, and then either they couldn't compete or they weren't 100% at individuals. So again, it's that whole talk of like dual seasons again, or how do you do a dual team national champ and then a individual with the team with. And I'm not saying take out the team component of the individual NCAAs, because I still think that's an important race too, and still have the individuals. But how do we have a dual team? Because the dual team lineup, as you can see, can be different on how people match up and the gamesmanship of that, and who could bump up or who can match up where.
Yeah.
And that's a different level of engagement versus the straight off. There's no bumping up. It's who's the king of each weight and who can score the most points for their team.
Yeah.
In that sense. So.
See, I'm trying to bounce ideas through my head right now, just as we're talking about it, thinking about maybe doing an after individuals, kind of like so do it after.
And I never thought about that. So doing that after.
But
NCAAs.
then you have that excuse of your guys are tired. But then if you give it like
they're banged up. But that's still
part of the season.
Different than they still have a chance at their individual goals.
Well, they have one more match. Well,
they have their individual goals, and then now it can be for the team. So if somebody gets hurt in NCAAs. Yeah, hopefully with the team duel, and that's what makes the team duels to me interesting, is like having the ability to have the backup wrestle, or you can have, you weigh in two guys at 133, you don't know which one's going to go out there.
How would you do the?
But at NCAAs, you can only put one person in at each weight, for your team. So
how would you do the brackets?
That's the other thing. Like, do you do?
Like, would you do like a 16-team bracket or something?
Yeah, or do you do something that's very similar to what they kind of already do for number of bids? Like Big Ten, the top 4 teams get to go. Southern Conference, the team that wins the Southern Conference gets to go. ACC gets 3 teams. Pac-12 gets 3 teams. To make a 16-team bracket, and then
something like that. See, that would be cool. And then, because depending on how many, so if you have a 16-team bracket, that would be what's that? That'd be 8 on each side. So basically, it's 1. I'm trying to do the math in my head.
Yeah.
The way it would go, because then it's like even your individual, even if you spread it over 3 days, you're only looking at maybe 1 or 2 matches a day, which would be. I feel which would be reasonable. It's not like it'd be unreasonable.
Yeah, I think depending on where you did it, if you got all the teams together, because
because I'm not a fan of how they do it now. Honestly, I just don't. I mean, I guess you can
They don't do anything now. What are you talking about? Like,
No, I'm saying like when they get the overall team points in the NCAA tournament, be like, oh, this team.
yeah, they're the team for that. I mean,
For-
I don't
for the
mind. I don't
NCAA
mind it for the
tournament.
NCAA tournament. I think it's fine for that. But I think that
Yeah.
I still would like to see a dual team. And I think heck, you could do it in a
But see,
16
even
minute
there,
bracket.
they
You
just-
could do it in a
yeah.
day.
I mean, you could, but if
You
you
get
wanna,
everybody together. I mean, you get everybody together on a Saturday. You know,
But it's
and
a-
have all the teams
That's
ready
the
to
issue.
rock.
If you want to keep your guys safe after that long, grueling season, why
Yeah.
not spread it over 2 days or even 3 days? I guess, or
Yeah.
have the championship one day and then the other.
But it's
round.
just a matter of like where you're gonna put it and like getting
Yeah.
all the teams together and all
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So, you know, already having them all together in a location instead of, you know, Oklahoma State getting to wrestle at home and then now you have to travel to get to a central location for wherever it is or have wrestling. You saying hi? Okay, ooh, easy. Almost knocked it for him. Alright, Buggy. You gonna go play? Otherwise, you don't get to use the computer when you get up. Okay.
No.
All right. So go on. Or sit down and be quiet. Okay. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of like the weekend thing. Like, and you don't want to do it the weekend after NCAA's because they just did that. But I don't know. But then you got to look at the time frame and all that kind of stuff like that. So, you know, I don't know.
I mean,
Interesting.
it is interesting, just the way they.
No, don't touch it. No, you can't mess with that.
Look, screen.
But yeah,
No.
just the way they, the way like you have the team, you know, the team winner in NCAA's. I mean, you have that for every time. But like the way we,
Okay, go play.
the way we basically look at that now, it's usually whoever wins the NCAA tournament as far as like the team score goes.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of who we call the national champions.
Yeah, it is.
And
I mean,
I'm not particularly a big fan of the way we do it that way, as far as like calling them the national champion. Even though I guess you can say like, well, they have the most people here, you know, just kind of. But there's still other factors that would go into.
Oh,
it.
there are other factors. That's why I like the whole.
Yeah.
If you click on it, you're not going to get to use it.
Mom, just
Okay. That's why I like the idea of still doing it. Now, see, now you're messing around. See, you're going to get kicked out of here in a second, okay? The little boy can go hold still. I still like the dual thing. I like the individual team champion or the team champion, but just knowing that one is from a dual team and knowing that this is the champion from the individual
Yeah.
tournament, like now you know where that championship is coming from.
Yeah.
So titling one the dual team champion versus the individual tournament champion, it makes sense now that like, because I think the problem is like you're saying not liking it is because, you know, a team that maybe qualifies 3 guys or 6 guys
It doesn't really have a chance.
doesn't really have a chance.
Well, that and just the fact that
But-
it's like, so for instance, let's take like.
but they
Iowa,
could be
Penn
but they could be competitive,
State.
you know,
Innocence,
in a duel, like, and if you
Yeah,
get the right matchup and
or
the right,
Penn State. Let's use Penn State, Iowa, 2 of the top teams in the country, like year in year out. Say they have 2 guys or 1 guy at this one weight. Penn State's got 1, Iowa's got 1. They're on 2 different sides of the bracket. Well, they just happen to hit a rough matchup for them, or they just happen to stumble that one match. I don't think that's indicative of saying this team as a whole would be the winner if there was a said dual tournament. Because then if you have those 2 go head to head, you can, you know, that there's different
It
things
is.
to look at.
Although right now the way it looks this year, I'd say that Iowa would win the dual championship,
Well, I mean,
and
yeah.
I'm hoping they're going to win the other one as well. I mean, the way they've been wrestling, so it's kind of one of those things that it does play out that way sometimes, but it could not as well because there's been years when, you know, the team that wins it takes a loss during that year, whichever.
Yeah.
You know, so
I mean, it's an interesting dynamic too, just as far as like
Mhm.
with the individual tournament. People, I mean, I hate to say it, people are more worried about the individual,
well, I mean,
like
yeah, 'cause
themselves,
that's
because
what they're.
that's what they're there for. That's what they've been working for. Whereas like a dual tournament comes around, you're gonna have a totally different atmosphere.
Yeah.
You know, it's gonna be like, I guess, like a 2-day event, 2 or 3 day event of what Iowa Penn State was.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's not so much of a big deal. You take a loss, your team can still make up for you. Or
Yeah.
as long as you don't get pinned, you know, you only lost, you know,
Mhm.
or taking a loss to somebody that maybe your team can still win with you losing, but maybe it's taking you needing not to make sure you don't get majored by a guy that maybe majored you in the individual tournament because he went on to win it, and now that dropped you back into the wrestlebacks, and you place anywhere from 3rd to 7th now.
Because instead of I mean, I hate to say,
but now your loss,
you have a concrete.
Your loss is still a win because your team won and you didn't give up bonus points, and that's what the difference was. So there's, like you said, that different mentality on how you get out there and how you go after.
And then you have a concrete answer of who's the best and who's not the best. Because, like I said, the way we do it now, we just go off team points at the NCAA's, and it's like, this person, and it's like, I don't think that's a good indicator. I really don't. I mean, I guess it gives you a rough idea, but I think there's so many other things that go into it that you can't. I don't think you can definitively say that would be the best team that year. It's just they happen to be that team or the best team at that tournament.
Yeah.
And I feel like if we add that dual meet at the end of the year, you can do it before NCAA's or after. I think after is the better choice.
I think now after, like before, my mind it was always about like when to do it before the tournament.
Well,
like, I just never really thought about it the other way of doing it after.
Yeah,
I've always thought about how to split up the season into dual season, first semester, individual season, second semester, or vice versa.
So like in football, you have the Heisman Trophy. The Heisman Trophy is given before the. I think it's given before even the conference, or not the conference championship games, but before the semi-final playoff game, or even the national championship game.
Yeah,
it's before that, so it's like the big individual trophy is given before the team one, and so I'm using that same dynamic. It's just you have your big thing, and then also think about the storylines that could go into that. You're like, oh, these two, this guy's the reigning national, or he is the current national champ.
Oh yeah.
Let's see if he can. Or what if the current national champ individual loses in the dual match? Like, there's just so many cool dynamics. I feel like
that'd be wild.
That you could like paint in there. That would just it'd be ratings galore in my opinion.
I think it would work. I mean, I think they should do it somehow, some way. I'm still curious to see how things go. All the talk before they had of moving wrestling at the NCAA level to a second semester only sport.
Yeah.
I still think it could work out, but like you move to a second semester sport because they talked about like not having it. It wouldn't be March Madness, but like everything would move back, and then you don't have people having to do things. Yeah. You wouldn't have to have people doing things over like Christmas break and stuff like that. Like those holiday breaks, like they would have that, and it's just a different mindset and thinking.
What do you think about that? Do you think it should be a 1 semester or 2 semester sport?
I think it'd be great as a 1 semester sport. Based off of kind of what we talked about with singlets on how like seeing the progression of a sport, but like seeing how I mean, I guess basketball does do it because they're a winter sport too, but like just thinking about things of like also eligibility is kind of one of those weird things, like like let's just go ahead and make sure you're eligible, not eligible first semester, fail out second semester. Not so much in college and stuff like that, but because those guys don't make it anyway, really, because you got to keep your grades up and do things. But I think the idea of having a 1 semester sport with the grind that is wrestling also would allow maybe athletes to, in college anyway, plan their schedule like to the point of second semester might not be the best time for me to do heavy.
Help open and then the go.
Okay, can you ask Sissy to help you? But I think with planning your schedule in the sense of like your class load, like if the ability to have the harder classes first semester, where and the first semester would be all your preseason workouts and training then versus all your travel time away for things, because right now with having your stuff, you don't know about that?
No, the reason I'm kind of like about that is because if you put a heavier load on them during all the preseason workouts and the preseason practices, all that, you might get somebody who can't mentally hack those, who can't balance the both, and then you have someone who's not really either not committed or just mentally not there during the preseason, not getting as good as they possibly can get. I mean,
I just think that
just
like being able to separate the two and really focus on your education in 1 semester because they're still supposed to be in college.
No, I like the idea.
And then that way you're not also worrying about let's face it, your final exams right before break is, you
Oh,
start
let
up your
them
season.
have a holiday too. Like
Let them have a holiday.
Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Thanksgiving and those are
Yeah.
two big holidays too, with like eating,
Yes.
and food, and not having to worry about that during that time period. I remember getting on an airplane leaving Korea. I mean, I don't think it was Christmas Day. Was it Christmas Day? Like, we're having to be back on campus like the day after Christmas to leave to get ready to drive down to Miami to go to a tournament. It's
Yeah.
like, you don't get that same kind of break time. Worrying about exams. Now you don't have to worry about necessarily final exams during the second half or the semester because you're just in classes in the beginning. But I don't know. I think there's something to it that could
Yeah.
be beneficial to the athlete, the student athlete, and beneficial to the sport.
And see, the way I was describing it a second ago with, taking their focus off training too is more of like a athlete-student approach. Which that's not the way you need to go. Obviously, it's always going to be student-athlete. But that's just in the back of my head. That's one thing I'm thinking of. It's just because some people are they're going to be putting so much work on that.
A lot of people still play football, I guess, maybe. I was like, could you do it first
Do
semester?
you really think some of those football players are,
No,
really
but-
academically challenged?
No,
when
but I
it
was thinking
comes
about,
to-
what if you did it first semester? Like, your season is first semester,
Mhm.
and then second semester is your study time and also freestyle folk style, or freestyle, those guys that are now Olympic redshirting maybe
Yeah.
wouldn't have to Olympic redshirt because they were able to focus on their
And then let
their
Christmas
stuff.
break or winter
Christmas
break,
break,
be your
body rest, and then
Yeah.
they get into their freestyle season
Yeah.
if they so wanted to, which
I can
isn't
see.
for everybody.
I can see one complaint for doing it that way.
Yeah,
Although
yeah.
I like it, someone's gonna say you're treating them like professional athletes in this case because you're making them train year around. Which
Well,
they-
let's put it
college
this way: they
athletes
kind
do
of
that
already
anyway.
do. They
Oh, yeah,
it's
totally.
already evolved into that anyway.
It's just now instead of having like a preseason mode, you're now having just 2 seasons.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great idea. I can just see that outrage from the public though, which the public doesn't know much.
No,
So-
I mean the general public always has something to
Yeah.
complain about.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
but all right, so I guess we kind of led down this rabbit hole of all that already. But officially into our postseason of wrestling.
I'm gonna make a note real quick of
Yeah.
a topic we need to cover.
Okay, and then what did you think about how? Were you surprised with the outcome between Iowa and Oklahoma State? Like, did I expect them to win? I think I kind of did, but
Did you expect them to win that way?
dominantly.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like,
Part of me wants to say, you know what? No, I'm gonna say no. I'm not surprised.
I'm gonna say I was like, I didn't expect them to.
The final score was
Did Oklahoma State win 2 or 3 matches?
think
Was
it
it
was-
to 6 or to 9?
that's what I was trying to remember. I mean, it wasn't. It's not like it wasn't a close duel. But am I surprised? No, I was just hands down been. Just they've been, top dog all year. It's been one of those things that this is. I don't want to say it's the resurgence because Iowa's always been great, but like this is kind of the resurgence of a great Iowa team that we've been clamoring for
Mm-hmm.
I would say the past since Penn State's been racking up all these championships.
Yeah. All right. Hawkeyes take down number 9, 34-6.
And so it was 2 matches.
I mean, 34-6. I would not say I expected that. Like, I thought they would kind of win. I mean, last year's score was 20-something to something. Something, obviously. That sounds really stupid. But, like, Oklahoma State won. They were pretty much in the driver's seat last year. But how they did it this year with just things like the matches that you thought might have been. Like, this is, like, the one that kind of threw me. All right? Pat Lugo pins Boo. I did not see that happening. Number 2 versus number 6. Spencer Lee. All right, so you start off with Spencer Lee doing Spencer Lee things. Can anything happen in that match? Yeah, because Pitch pinned Lee last year. I mean, and that
That's what I
was
was about to say
that
for
was
that one.
amazing. It was like kind of like set it off. But you have that DeSanto comes out, he pins, and then you have, you figure, okay, this is now things going to start turning around a little bit. At least it's going to slow down Iowa, and then daggum Lugo gets a pin, and you're like, is there going to be a stop to this? Like, it wasn't just that they won,
It's like, this is
and
madness.
like number 2 versus number 6. Yeah,
So winning
kinda-
decisively.
you think that Lugo is going to win the match, but you think that's going to be a decision match. You're not thinking pin. Like, oh my god, like
Yeah, no.
Carver is just
Going crazy, yeah.
a wrecking ball right now. I mean,
No, I mean it totally
Right.
is. And the Lugo beating Boo, it's that one did kind of surprise me. I mean, it's not like I'm not gonna sit there and say like, oh, I knew this was gonna happen. I'm not.
no,
Gonna
I mean there were other matches that were
I'm not pulling a my brother, but
yeah.
like it's that shocked me. But the overall domination
Mhm.
that Iowa showed didn't surprise me. If that makes
And then
sense.
it was just like there was a major here and a major there. I think what was it? Was Marinelli like one of the few decisions like. I'm trying to remember, see what they had with him, but like Marinelli
Iowa was going out.
versus
They wanted to
Travis
go out with a
Woodlake,
bang.
yeah.
Speaking of which,
Yeah, they felt each other out a lot. Yeah, I mean Marinelli wins in a 3-2 nail biter. I expected more matches to be kind of that way. I expected the Okie State guys to come in, John Smith being like, "Hey, this is what it is." They may be. No, he's not going to say they're the better team, but Iowa on paper is the better team. They're the ones that are getting after it. But I expected, Okie State to keep it close. Like, good gosh, like, and they just managed to just blow the roof off of it. And what I'm wondering about, I have two things to wonder about now. And tell me what you think. Basketball tickets.
I don't care about basketball.
No kidding. We're gonna fight. in
Why
there.
is this basketball?
I know, because we're gonna fight.
I
in there.
literally looked up wrestling.
Yeah, because you look at basketball tickets and we're gonna fight. But no, I'm just kidding.
It even clicked wrestling. Oh, Big Ten tournament. It didn't say wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, this way.
So
I put NCAA.
I was wondering, does Iowa run away at NCAA as the way they just did just now against Oklahoma State? Like, is there? I think they're gonna win it hands down. But is there gonna be anybody who's close to them? Is it gonna
next
be?
weekend. Sorry, I was doing. I was just looking at Big Ten wrestling tournament.
Yeah.
That's next weekend.
Yeah. Is there gonna be anybody who can keep it close with them?
With Iowa?
Yeah, with Iowa. Or is it just like
Where are you talking about?
NCAA's? Or is
NCAA's?
it or is it put a lock on it and nobody's touching them, nobody's coming near them?
Okay, I never want to say it's a lock, but
I mean, the way they've wrestled?
the way they've wrestled has been very impressive. But if anyone would be close,
Their duel, and crazy enough to say, their duel with Penn State was close.
yeah, that's what I was about to say. I was going to say Penn State. I could see because Penn State, when it comes to the NCAA tournament, they always find a way to get points. Always, even when they lose, they come back and they rack points up. That's just what they do. And so I could see Penn State being close. And team I've recently kind of been eyeballing as far as seeing what they're going to do. I wouldn't be surprised if NC State did something crazy and was closer than we expected.
Because we were talking about them.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're going to be like right there at the neck, but I'm saying I believe they're going to be they're going to be up there. I have a feeling.
I mean,
it'll
he had
be-
to jump off the UNC one and go
Yeah,
with
they-
another
they
North
let
Carolina
him-
school. So, like, at the beginning of the year, he was all like, UNC, watch out
looked
for big
impressive.
things. And look
They
at
did
him.
nothing.
So he's kind of rolling with that North Carolina thing still somehow, some way.
ACC. Let's go with that. It's an
Okay,
ACC
so
conference.
so he's rolling with.
So
he
my-
called ACC being good earlier, like for.
This is going to be my prediction. The top three teams at the NCAA tournament. It's going to be Iowa 1, Penn State 2, NC State 3.
Wow. What's current rankings right now? Like, who's the top 10? I'm not.
Iowa's 1.
I'm not curious.
Yeah. Let's
I
see.
don't know what the top 10 ranking is on that.
NCAA.
Because I want to know who.
Ticket Center. Oh, here we go. Rankings D1.
Team Iowa, Penn State, NC State. Okay, so you're.
Oh.
So you're.
I'm just going 1,
you're-
2, 3 again. That's what.
You're 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So he
Yeah.
he looked this up before he came, so he could sound educated on it.
I
No.
know, totally.
Actually, Nebraska has been really good.
Yeah.
I mean, NC State is undefeated in their dual record.
right there near Penn State as far as points go as well.
Is what they projected points from before and whatnot. Oklahoma State is they've only lost 2 duels, but
Hey, redemption here. Who's at 8 though?
North Carolina.
There
Yeah,
we go.
but,
I told you, don't sleep on the Tar Heels.
all right, what's more likely to happen? NC State placing third,
Or me get a single prediction
or
right.
North Carolina not making the top 10?
NC State placing third. That feels more likely.
Oh wow. Okay, I'm gonna go with. It's more likely that North Carolina, just to mess with Tyler, since he was like, "Don't sleep on North Carolina" at
Yeah.
the beginning of the year. Not even making the top 10 this year.
Hold up. No, I just want to
He's
say
like,
something.
wait, how do we figure this into something? Yeah.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
they took a stumble from years past.
Who's that?
Michigan. We haven't looked as good as we
Tied for 21.
Yeah.
Well, that's because all their guys are like all over the world right now.
They are.
So, okay, so that leads to my other question that I was actually wondering about. Iowa dominant this year.
Yes.
Iowa looks great. I picked Iowa at the beginning of the year. You picked Iowa at the beginning of the year to win NCAAs. All that kind of good stuff. Is there something to everybody taking an Olympic red shirt this year and Iowa saying, no, we're not going to. We're going to focus on NCAAs?
What do you mean?
If-
There's something to it.
If everybody did not take an Olympic red shirt this year,
Does Iowa State?
is Iowa still the number 1 team or the favorite to win it? Now, the kicker with that is Penn State doesn't have anybody that's
Yeah,
Olympic
I would
red
still
shirt.
say yeah.
So Iowa's still there, but like
I feel the Oklahoma State matchup would be a lot different.
Oklahoma State matchup would be different.
It wouldn't be.
The dynamics of there's certain weights though that
Such as.
133. You got
Well, I'm saying outside of that one, obviously. I mean that one.
so you got 133 because you've got not only
Fix
Fix, you've got Rutgers,
Suriano. He
Suriano.
forgot his name. How
Yeah, I did.
disrespectful.
And I mean, he's not Olympic redshirting, but he thought about Rivera's at the weight, so he's got to focus on the freestyle stuff. You got Ironman at like whatever weight, like 41. Yanni at 41. So where would that put Lugo right now?
I can't remember who my prediction was for 41, but I don't think it was Lugo.
Yeah.
I still think even with them, the amount of the places where Iowa outside of 33, the places where Iowa has the best, they're where they have like the solid box, I still think would be enough to get number 1. Would it be such a blowaway? Absolutely not. No.
Yeah.
I mean, because especially at NCAAs, there would be so many other
the
factors.
entire Michigan team is on an Olympic red shirt.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, there's points not on the board right now.
Our whole team is overseas, not for.
I do agree that I do think Iowa wins, but I don't think it's by as dominant a margin because there's.
That was a water bottle falling. It made a lot of noise.
Yeah. I mean, but there's things like, would Lugo be there? Where would Santa be ranked? Where would there's just where are those guys going to be ranked at? They're not all going to be number 2, or 3. They could be, a 4 or 5 guy or something. They're still a top 6 guy easily, but So I was just wondering about that during this year.
Who else is taking an Olympic red shirt? That's a big name.
I'm kind of surprised
Yanni.
Kylie didn't take one. Yanni. There's a couple of the.
Do you think they should put
There you
NCAA while they're in school? You think they should put NCAA's first or Olympic?
Olympics only come once every 4 years.
I mean, I'm just curious.
So,
But you're in school. You just happen to be in school during that time. I mean,
I
that's
would
unfortunate.
say that it's unfortunate that you're in school, but I'd say you let them do it just because the Olympics only come once every 4 years, and it's not like our guys aren't able to compete at that stage anymore. Anymore. Like in the past, maybe traditionally, like guys might not have been good enough at the time, but our guys are that good now that if they're that good to be able to make the Olympic team, then who are we to hinder an Olympic dream?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's one thing I've bounced back and forth on before. It's like, no, you're an athlete.
Maybe
I get that.
As soon as 5 years ago, 10 years ago, for sure. I don't think those guys are like in school, like unless maybe you were a senior, were kind of ready to go at that level. Because before the progression always was finish NCAAs and then test your foot in international waters. You know, I mean, Burroughs,
See, the
Burroughs,
thing that
Metcalf,
they can-
David Taylor, Kyle Date. No, those guys took Olympic gray shirts. You know, they all waited till after their NCAA career, and I think that was just the mold with which people did things, and I think that's just the level of their wrestling. Now, I think the level of wrestling has just progressively gotten better and better and better. So we have guys like Yanni, we've guys got like Fix with the development of our cadet teams and junior teams that have gotten more international exposure. I mean,
part of me
Gable
wants to say-
Stevenson is. How many times has he won worlds?
Yeah.
You know. And
See, part of me wants to say, and this is probably not a good, good argument about this, is let them finish school because they're only going to be in school once. But at the same time, like, what would connection loss? What would it be like if they focused on folk style while they're in school and then decided to wait until the next Olympic cycle? That gives them time to completely get developed in the Olympic, like the international style, the freestyle, the Greco. I mean, and that's probably not the best because I'm sure these guys even now they still dabble in it either way. But it's not like they're just getting exposed to freestyle and Greco.
Yeah.
But I guess like instead of having to split time in training freestyle, Greco plus folk style, once they graduate school, they can focus entirely on that. That way, when it comes around,
I mean, I think they're.
But that still happens now anyway. So like I said, it's not really that. It's just a thought, throwing it out there, trying to get some.
But no, I just think the level of our wrestling
It's just there.
is just there now. Years past, I don't think those guys were ready for it, but now I'm like, dude, the trend is if you're ready for it, let's go get it, and also let's be
Send it.
let's be greedy as a nation, and if our best guy is in college right now, let's let them redshirt and let's go see what they can do for our country.
Technically, the Olympics is for amateur athletes.
There's also that. So, it is the amateur, non-pro,
Unless you're Russia.
Yeah. Which, oh God, I think I just saw some, 3 more athletes that were at Worlds last year pop for stuff. There was a picture of, I think somebody.
Speaking of people
from the
popping
European
for
bloc.
stuff,
Huh?
that was the thing that I wrote initially.
All right, Zahid. So, I am 100% down with, I thought about it some more, and we talked about it. So, Zahid failed the drug test.
The day after we had our episode.
Yeah, the day after we had our episode, maybe even that night.
Yeah, maybe.
Failed a drug test. Suspended indefinitely is what they said. And I haven't gone to look to see what they mean by indefinitely. Till the school, is this a school rule? Is this the coach's rule? Until the coach feels that he's been...
Depending on also how much he got caught with.
Or what's the thing. And last I heard, I think it was marijuana that he got busted for. But I need to read up to be 100% for sure. But it was a recreational use thing is all I did find, because when I texted you about it, and you're like, for what? And I was like, I'm trying to find out because it was kind of like a breaking news.
We just kind of assumed that. I think it's just.
I think a lot of people assume that that's what it was.
Yeah, which we just know because we're that good of.
Yeah. So.
Analysts.
And then you were kind of like, yeah, it's kind of stupid thing to get banned for, or like.
Well, I went back and forth. I was like, it is, but it isn't.
It is, but it isn't. But I'm gonna go with the stance of it's the rules. You're not supposed to. If there are medicinal uses for said product.
Yes.
Let's be honest and say that a kid in college, because he's a kid in college, is probably not using it for the medicinal uses of, let me go see, I'm going with the probably, I'm going to make a generalized statement.
Yeah.
Yes, I do, I know that. But I'm going to say, let's be honest, and let's think back in college and things like that. If I look back on, even teams that I was on, let's see, were people doing things like that for recovery, for things like that, or were they doing it for other reasons, like to have a good time and other things, which was just stupid. That's against the rules. That's not why you should be doing things.
People still drink.
Huh?
People still drink. Football players do it.
Yes, they do. But there are certain universities and certain coaches that have implemented dry rules. Like, if you get caught drinking, you are off the team, or you are suspended for another thing. So
that's a team rule. That's not an NCAA rule, though. That's a different thing.
That is,
if we're going
it is.
Team rules, team rules. They can make.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. What is this indefinite suspension? I know that one's got the thing on it. But what's the indefinite suspension? Is that a team rule thing, or is that the Is that a school rule thing?
I feel like it's an NCAA
and I
thing.
don't think it's an NCAA thing because I've seen people pop for it, like
Yeah.
at school when I was in school, and they were not suspended indefinitely.
Well, the
they
reason
were
I say I think it's
they were
NCAA.
suspended for like the next match, and then they had to go on to. I'm trying to remembering back to it, and then they had to go on to like for a month, like a weekly test, and then like you were more subset. I mean, any college athlete by rule can be tested at any given time.
Mhm.
Does not matter.
Yeah.
Okay, but then obviously now you flag the system, and now you're going your name is going to go into that lottery much more after you pass a certain amount of time. So I don't think that he's going to be like suspended indefinitely in the sense like he's never going to wrestle again, or maybe not. I would hope that he's not out for this season. The kicker being is, did this happen before their last duel? And if so, if the rule is something like you sit your next competitive event, well, and if we're now in the postseason, that just kind of messes you up because now your next competitive event is that. And if that is the rule, then that is the rule, and I think it should be followed and held to
Okay.
it.
So the reason I think they might have given the indefinite suspension, and I don't know yet, this is all speculation, I haven't seen too much on it since, is depending on how much he had, and unless there's an investigation going on. So for instance,
Yeah, and that's
if he
it's
had
an
enough,
indefinite be.
and there was enough to suspect that he's dealing it,
Oh, that's a whole
that
nother
suspension. There
see,
you go. Yeah.
I mean, now you go from like if there's that kind of thing. Now you go from a whole different level of recreational use
Stupid
to
use.
like beyond stupid, and now you're causing problems for other people.
Yeah, that this is a bigger problem, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm not 100% sure why they're saying indefinite. Because if it's indefinite, I could see them doing it for that because that's a reason to indefinitely suspend somebody.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need to be doing. You don't need to be doing that.
Yeah,
Period.
don't do it. Period.
Especially
Especially in college. Especially
when you have people looking up to you.
people looking up to you, like, because now let's face it, like college athletes are, I don't want to use the word heroes, but they are superstars.
Yeah.
They're people that are with the day and age of social media and everything else.
Yep.
People that people look up to. I think it's awesome now that kids,
Mm-hmm.
my kid included, has gone to college matches, brought his headgear for the college athletes to sign.
Yeah.
You know, because he wants their signatures. Like he'll pick one or two people out or something, and he wants somebody's signature. You know,
Yeah.
so he can go look for it. That's the level of thing that in the past was reserved for pro football players at a game,
Mhm.
pro baseball players, pro players of some sort, not necessarily college. Now I think that because of the exposure, I
That's
think
also
that-
because that's all we have now. It's not like we have a professional wrestling league.
yeah, I
Well,
mean for us now,
WWE.
but I still think like even football, baseball, other sports,
Yeah.
because of today's day and time with not just social media but the media being able to
Yeah.
you know
ESPN.
ESPN and everything else.
Yeah.
Now people want to, you know, get signatures from certain people, and they want to. Now NCAA wants to pay people for their likeness. Blah blah blah. That's a whole separate one. But
Ooh.
yes, you are now a role model, whether you want
Yeah.
to be or not. Whether you know, like the whole Charles Barkley thing. I'm not a role model, but yes, you are. You are in that limelight. You need to act like
You're
are
a
in that
role model.
limelight.
Probably not a good one, but you're a role model.
You know, and that boils down to like the thing of like even high school kids. Like
Yeah.
when you do that and you have like a youth program and kids look up to you, kids want to see you do well. They get to know you and they want to see you do well. So
So
I think whatever the ruling is, like I mean,
here I'm about to, and then here's the second part of this. I've kind of thought about it. I agree with the suspension simply because even if he's using it recreation, even if he is using it for medicinal purposes, it's not federally legal.
yeah,
There's
it's not-
places. I don't know if Iowa has it. As far as like it's legal there.
He's from Arizona. It's not from like he's from Colorado and had a
Well, I'm
card
saying,
from like you know.
So for instance, take someone. Let's use North Carolina. North Carolina. I don't think it's legal there. I'm not sure. Anyway, let's use a state that.
What state is it legal? Colorado. Well, when
Colorado,
you say legal, I think
California.
Colorado and California. Is there
And
other states that
Washington.
is
state,
Washington one?
I think
Okay.
yeah. But
I
you
didn't.
take-
I see. I was pretty sure. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I knew there wasn't more than
Yeah,
five,
there's not-
and I
there's
can't
not
name
one.
the.
But so let's take it. Let's use North Carolina. So you have a guy at NC State or North UNC, either one, who does not have access to that recovery method, and then you have someone over here.
Now
who
it's an
does-
unfair advantage because
It's
they
a performance enhancer at that
because
point.
they now becomes
Yeah.
performance enhancer.
So
Plus, besides, it's an illegal substance banned by deemed by NCAA anyway.
Well,
so,
and we can make the argument that that's kind of an archaic rule. If it's federally legal, if we have evidence saying it's
but
okay.
it's none of those things though. It's not federally legal. It's
not yet. I'm saying, but if it were federally legal and it's shown to have medicinal purposes, which we have evidence for that.
Mhm.
If it was completely federally legal, then I would say the NCAA rule is archaic.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Jeremiah Macy.
Hey, I have no idea what you're talking about. I just hey, what's up,
We-
Ben? We are good.
And but no, if it was federally legal, and you still punish people for it, I would say it's
Soap.
it is an archaic rule. But the more I think about it, I would classify that as a performance enhancer. Not to
It
the
would
extent,
be,
but it's
but
you're
it
giving
would be
someone,
because it's
because you're giving someone
somebody
access to
somebody
something
has
that
access to it
yeah.
just because they live in a certain
Because
area.
if they can recover slightly better, that's
that's
on an even playing field.
Well, and that's
yeah.
the big thing with, like, I think a lot of people have the misconception. Again, we went back to our discussion on steroids.
Mhm.
Is it's not so much the steroids that these athletes are taking from Russia and the different countries that is like a juice for like just straight muscle building and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
We think steroids. We think of bodybuilding. We think of like.
Not making much soap these days.
Oh man,
I
that
should
kind
say
of thing.
smoke some weed. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that.
Don't do
Don't
that.
do that.
Never. But like the misconception with the steroids is that it's just like a muscle builder. Well, I think a lot of it is it's not so much that, it's the recovery that everybody's talking about. They're able to recover faster by taking these drugs so that they're able to push their bodies harder and more continuously, or like their rest days, their cycle of
They're able to
like
keep
they're
up
peaking,
with-
they're
yeah.
able to keep on going harder, faster, stronger, and have a quicker recovery
Which is a
time
good
versus,
documentary.
versus needing more days off to rest your body and to get better and do
Yeah.
those things. So yeah, I mean, as far as the recovery stuff, I mean, and let's face it, getting older and stuff too, man. I wish I recovered as quick as I did when I was younger and stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
But like
Especially now, like compared, and I'm only about to be 25. It's not like I'm an old man, but I can tell a difference from when I was like 17, 18 years old to now, where it's like I hit a good day of squats and I need a little bit of extra time to get over that.
You need a little bit of extra time. I mean, just like time in the room though. Can you imagine like the grind on your body?
Oh,
like I remember
yeah.
like I don't know, like the idea
like
of going back into a
Iowa.
college room again and
Yeah.
like doing that grind on a daily basis, like it's kind of scary. Like
Not
no
only
lie.
that, a college room. Now think of Iowa's college room,
Iowa's
which is
college
a
room.
different animal.
And that's a
altogether.
different.
Yeah.
No lie.
I guarantee you,
will
I
not-
would probably be dead after 1 week.
I
I would be laying on the mat.
I
like,
was
you have to drag me
I
in.
lived it for a couple of years, and I was able to do it and make
Yeah.
it, but
It's tough.
and that wasn't the Big Ten, Iowa room either.
Yeah, I was going to
So,
say it's not the Big Ten room, and it's not the Iowa room.
And it wasn't DeSanto as my workout partner, who was.
Oh my God, I don't see
You see
how-
him on a mat, like that man is going that way in a practice.
I'm sure
room.
him and Lee
So,
practice together.
huh?
I'm sure him and Lee practiced together. Maybe that's why he wore that knee brace again this year. Maybe him and DeSanto got into
Just
it.
like-
DeSanto
just
gonna
going.
rip his leg off.
I mean, there's just no stop on him, and like
Oh,
his
God, he's
recovery,
like- Ooh.
his recovery's got to be based a lot off of his age and ability, and obviously now lots of things, food, nutrition, everything has gotten so much better
Oh,
with,
yeah.
with so many different things. But oh.
But no, I mean totally. Yeah, it's that's one big issue that I have with it though is the more that I think about it, part of me wants to
The
say,
more-
look, times are changing. Let's
Times
give
are
it the
changing,
time.
but
at
it's
the
just-
same
it's
time,
just not-
It's not a level playing field.
It's not a level playing field, and as much as, again, like for those people who say like, but it's just this and it does have medicinal use, at the same time, it's not really that proven. As far as if it was, it probably would be legal. I mean, let's just go with it. It's not legal. It's not the right thing to be doing.
I wouldn't say. I mean, we have the evidence. It's just the issue of big pharma. They want to be able to have their hand in that
Mm-hmm.
because they want to cornerstone and they want to make that money. That's why
They
I say
do,
it's
but
not
there's
legal.
also and there's also
Because we
the
have
people.
plenty of evidence for the CBD oil. I mean, that is like, that's
Well, then that's
Yeah.
why people use that without the THC.
Yeah, but I'm saying like that's
That-
still coming from marijuana. Like you have two
Yeah, I
different
know.
strains. You have
But the difference between that now, and I'm not a pro on that or know a whole lot about it,
Yeah.
but I know of a lot of people that have asked about it, and a lot of people who, have used the CBD
Mm-hmm.
oils and stuff like that. Well, the reason why that's okay is because that is a purely, when I say okay, I think people are able to
Mm-hmm.
use that, is from my understanding, and I could be wrong because I'm not a doctor or anything, my understanding is there's no THC in it. Yes, it is come
Yeah,
from
and
that
even-
plant, but it's
yeah.
you're using it for the medicinal uses. The problem is people want to quantify the other
yeah.
that they use for recreational to be, hey, it's good because it does all those things.
Well, it's because
why
there
not
are
just
strains. You have
I know.
so you have the two different species of the cannabis plant. Like you have the sativa strand, and then you have the indica strand. The sativa is the one with all the THC. The indica, this is getting real technical, and people are going to be like, "This is Cheech and Chong talk or something."
That's crazy.
But no, then you have the indica, which the indica is going to have less to almost no THC,
Yeah.
which is all going to be the CBD.
Yeah.
So and that's it's the same thing. It's but you're just getting it a different way at this point.
Mhm.
But that's the thing. It's if we.
I'm
if
just
we
saying
show-
there has to be a separation from the stigma of how weed/marijuana has been used in the past and
Yeah.
how people have done it the wrong way because they've only used it for recreational purposes versus if you're going to move forward in life with the CBD and the other things
Mhm.
to be able to separate the two so that this is a pharmaceutical grade thing that is used for this and
Well,
this
how about
alone.
this?
and
Legalize the
doesn't-
oils.
Well,
No, I'm not
I mean,
saying. I'm not
are
saying.
they-
I'm
are
saying
they
the
not?
NCAA. I'm saying the NCAA.
Okay, well, NCAA.
Where it's like you can have
Now,
this
see-
amount in your system.
Yeah,
that's
I mean, I
from
thought
the
the
oil.
oils were legal, but like
In NCAA, I don't.
well, I don't know. Well, NCAA's you also have to be careful because like there are certain
If,
not-
no,
not
not
just
that's
that-
USADA. That's USADA.
yeah, you saw it.
Have you
but
ever
they're
looked at USADA? If you have a cup of coffee 15 minutes before
you
you're
probably yeah.
they will pop you for too much caffeine.
Too
I'm
much
like,
caffeine.
you tell me I can't have caffeine when you wake me up at 4 a.m.
Someone was telling me
Like-
I need to quit caffeine anyway.
Then you need to cut them out of your life.
Yeah,
That's
so
negativity that we don't need.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Although I am addicted to it, yes, I'm not gonna lie, but I enjoy that addiction.
Is it a
But-
performance enhancer?
I don't care what it is.
It's
But they also like NCAA's. There was also like there are, I remember like having to be careful because like you couldn't just go to GNC and get
certain types of creatine.
certain kinds of creatine or
Yeah.
pre-workouts or different things like that because what's in the stuff would be so. Yeah, there's got to be, I mean, you got.
I say there needs to be a revamping of like what's banned, what's not. Like maybe just take another look at it.
And just like pretty much let's go with a thing of let's do it this way. Like if you can buy it in GNC, like it's probably okay for you.
Ooh,
Probably.
but
But you
they
have
get
to
a lot
follow-
of tainted supplements. G&Z gets tons of
Okay.
tainted supplements. Like
All right, so let's go back
It's
with
an
the
issue.
whole thing of like then what should be allowed and not allowed? Should we allow anything from protein powders to multivitamins or anything? Or
I
should
would
we
say
everything just go
you
like pure
could-
natural then?
the good thing is you could get a company who makes protein or creatine or something to sponsor the NCAA. That way they can focus. Be like, you can use these
And let the
products
colleges be able to buy
because
it
that
from
way you
Or-
can know where they're
But
coming
you can't have a
from.
monopoly. You have to do kind of like I think maybe they should do kind of like how they do. Schools are a Nike shoe, Adidas school, Under Armour shoe.
Well,
Have
you
a
can
couple
give
of
them
different
options.
have a couple different companies, and this is
Yeah.
our sales pitch to you, just like they do with all
Yeah.
that. And then
I
like
mean, give them a
these are
couple
the
options, but
Yeah, give
I
them a
would
couple
say
options,
you can't
but these
take
are-
anything.
no, but here and that let's make athletes' lives easier.
Yeah.
And athletes' lives have gotten easier in the sense of like even just like the gear stuff, like the gear they hand out to athletes
Mhm.
now is like gear day is awesome. Like they get 2 pairs of shoes, some short, and it's all whether it's Adidas or Adidas, Under Armour, Brutus now, whichever thing you go with, you get that. Let's let schools do that with like supplement companies
Yeah.
and be like, hey, this company is offering us protein, creatine, a recovery shake, these things for all our athletes at this cost. Same thing as
Yeah.
Nike and all them do, and they sell it, and then like you probably get like a little patch to put on your backpack or whichever and show that that's the company that supplies you, like that's sponsoring your
Yeah.
stuff. Do
I
not
like
go.
that.
Do not go buy from GNC this pre-workout or this after recovery protein
How
shake
often do you see
because
those
we
get
don't
recalled?
because we don't know what's in that. But
Yeah.
this is the one that's deemed cleared by NCAA's,
Mhm.
and let's do that. And
'Cause it
and
doesn't
if
take long.
if companies then if those companies then also have NCAA,
Yeah.
here's the CBD oil for recovery that we deem has none of the bad things. Nobody's gonna go smoking that for recreational because it's an oil that you use in a drop or however it. I don't even know how it's used honestly because I've
I
never
think you
used
just put it on a drop and you can use it as like a rub.
like
too.
an oil or something. Like I
can
said,
use it-
I
you can take it
literally
so
know
many
nothing
different
about
ways.
it other than like
My grandmother,
mean,
she takes it now.
Okay,
And
I mean,
she was
'cause I've
so
used-
against it because she knew what it came from, and she was so against it. But she's had her whole back is basically
Yeah.
fused. She started taking it. Miracles. She's,
because I imagine that it's probably a lot like the one I use the DoTerra now. The
Yeah.
DoTerra oils, whether it be like you can use it for headaches, you put it on the diffuser bracelets or
gosh,
a
I
necklace or
love those
whichever, or the air diffusers.
I've got
I mean, you were
those.
looking at the one. I don't know where you pulled this one from.
it was literally
on
right
from-
there.
Oh,
no,
you
I
were-
use the
like this one
peppermint
is
oil
yeah. I
lavender.
use the peppermint oil lavender. This one we were talking. I was talking to some people about TerraShield.
Outdoor blend.
Yeah, smell that one. Now, that one is like I got a thing with mosquitoes and stuff, right?
Mm.
And most people
It
think
smells like a kind of a, almost kind of like that citronella stuff that roll soap you used to use.
yeah, but no, like what you want to think about with this one is what I was so happy with this
Yeah.
is like because I hate mosquitoes and use mosquito
It smells
stuff.
good too.
It smells good, and I've got one that's in spray, and you put a couple drops on, rub it
Yeah.
on, but it doesn't smell. You don't smell like a citronella candle. It's got a little vanilla and it works. Like I'm like, dude, like I'm not getting as chewed as I would. Is anything 100% no? But
Okay, that's what I was smelling, the coconut and vanilla bean.
yeah, the vanilla bean and stuff in there. So finally, I've got like a mosquito repellent thing that I don't walk around smelling like a citronella candle.
Which is a good thing.
You know, I use some of the other oils, and like some of them actually have like drops. Like you can put a drop of lemon. It's pharmaceutical grade. You can put a drop of lemon in your water. You know, like
Does
instead of like
does it work for mosquitoes? Like that's what I'm saying. Like, have you used it and
I
noticed the
used it at
difference?
the end of toward the end of last summer because that's when I started getting into the stuff. And it was one of two things, and maybe a combination of the two. One, like it was getting toward the end of mosquito season, and two, I was using that. So I can't say with 1%, but I liked it. I've got a spray of it up next to the door upstairs.
Because
So-
usually I just suffer now because I know that stuff is terrible for your skin. It's terrible for you, like especially the candles.
Yeah,
So I've been looking for another method, and
I got you like $15, man.
okay,
All right.
$15. Gee.
Huh? For the-
15.
Yeah, but the stuff lasts forever. Like you go through a bottle of the other stuff like $3. You
Yeah.
know, like you go through a bottle of that in like a day if you're fighting mosquitoes because you have to reapply it every
5 minutes.
5 minutes. Like this has been sitting here. I mean, like
He's
look,
cornering the market.
Yeah,
This
check
is-
that out.
this is a definition of a monopoly.
look how much that's been used. So I'm pretty sure that's gonna last.
You can
For,
have this whole bottle, $75. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm
Mosquitoes,
gonna-
man.
all right, I'm gonna say
Super
15.
cool.
I'm gonna buy it for 15. And I'm gonna sell it to you for
Yeah.
75.
No,
so
15's not
no.
So one last topic. Do you want to leave it or do you want to go with it because it is next week? Big Ten predictions.
Let's do a separate episode for Big Ten
Okay.
predictions. So
That way we can also see what the bracket looks like.
yeah, I want to see what those look like and everything else. And then I was gonna say, I guess like a quick little product review. You notice like you said, like, did I have school? I did, but check the shirt. Everybody wants to eat, but few will hunt. Nice soft shirt. You know, it's kind of everything's gone to that nice soft blend.
That-
Really
yeah.
enjoy it. And that's just another thing. I really, like I said, touch my soul. As your phrase, like touch my soul, but like just that phrase of fuel hunting, it just like spoke to me. I was like, dude, everybody wants something, and everybody wants this, and everybody wants that, but nobody wants to work for it.
Sure.
And the things that you and I talk about so much of like enjoying the process, getting out there and just doing your best and getting after it, and you know, and the end results coming from the work itself, like just fit along with, dude, if you want to hunt. You know, like everybody wants to eat, everybody wants the end results, everybody wants the byproducts of what's gone on, but nobody wants to put in the work for it. And I just love the whole mantra, and I love the way it sounds, the fuel hunt, and I think it just fits along with what you and I preach, what we preach on this podcast, what we preach to our athletes when they're in our room, whether it be compound, which we need to get some more people into, or in our actual practice room at school. Like, the process, enjoy the process, enjoy the grind, win the situations, listen to what we have to say. It's about the long term,
Because it's fun.
and enjoy the hunt. Like,
It's fun. That's like that's the analogy I made that one time that some of the best things are not fun in the moment you're having them. It's like no one's gonna talk about, hey, you remember that one time we were on a roller coaster back in like 7th grade? That no one's gonna talk about that.
no.
it's that those times it's like, hey, do you remember that time where like we were in these terrible conditions, yada yada, and it's like where it's a real grind, or like the closest friendships I've had, Quasi, Usher, are people that I've been in a grind with on a daily basis.
I mean, how many
And
times
it's-
can you be like, hey, you remember the times when like we were all getting our heads beat in by so and so and so and so, or like remember the times we were all beating each other up in the room and we were all like, do you remember the times when we were literally like
Those are
couldn't
the ones
breathe
that,
anymore and I'm bent over and I can't
Yeah.
breathe and like
Those are the
drenched
ones
in
that
sweat?
are more memorable, more enjoyable for us. When you go hiking and you get these beautiful pictures, it's like, oh man, that's amazing. That doesn't show you the hour and a half of
That it took
walking
to get
uphill
there,
to
that
get
you
there.
enjoyed and like you got to see it. So
That
yeah.
that was like a really
You know,
grueling
Fuel hunt,
process.
enjoy it, like I said. So I love the product. I got the big banner in the garage compound up here. Gonna lovely support the shirt, like I
Yeah.
said, talked about it. Might have to put McCracken across the. Ooh, wait, hold on. The back of it has a thing where you just throw
The
McCracken.
eagle, yeah.
Yeah, the eagle. It's our eagle anyway, pretty much.
Oh, even better. You can do MMS.
There we go.
Cracking
We
Middle
can do that. All right, guys.
Completely
Hook us up
ripping
with some
off.
stuff. We'll just buy your shirts and we'll just put McCracken Wrestling underneath it.
Yeah.
So
Maybe sponsor us. Maybe
Maybe
sponsor
sponsor.
the school.
Or
Or
we'll
sponsor
just-
our program. Let's say.
or we'll just do a Cerebrus one. I don't know. We'll
Yeah.
just say whatever. So
we
all
can
right.
come up with something similar.
All right, cool. So glad to. Hey, it's postseason time. You guys go check out. And here's another thing. Go try to watch a conference tournament if it's in
Yeah.
your area. To go be able to check it out. Minus my kid's birthday's probably being that weekend. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to check out the SoCon one, but it's up in Asheville again. I've gone to it before. I've taken kids. Maybe we'll do it, but go check out the local stuff. Go support whatever teams you want to go support. Not biased, Chattanooga Strong, but
I thought you were doing the Quasi thing for a second. Too sweet.
oh yeah,
Well, I say him, but I do it too.
yeah, you do it too.
The
So
Wolfpack.
yeah,
Oh,
But-
especially with me talking about NC State. The
NC
Wolfpack.
State?
There we go.
Yeah, winner.
Comes
All right, so
full
we're gonna
circle.
we're gonna also look at when ACCs are because maybe
ACC.
Maybe
Maybe
we'll
we'll look
check
that
it.
up in like 2 seconds, actually.
when are the ACC
ACC Wrestling
championships?
Tournament 2020.
So and where is it? Because like
Oh, if it's close by.
That's
ACC
what I'm just saying.
Football.
I don't know.
Buying stuff, tickets, concerts, ACC championship tickets.
Hey, look up NC
Oh,
State Wrestling.
wrestling championship right
Okay,
there.
There it is. All right. So we're gonna find out with this, and we're gonna end with that one.
It is.
It is loading. Loading.
March 8th, so it's gonna be that Sunday.
That same
and
weekend, hosted by Pitt.
Pittsburgh.
A little bit further away.
Okay, I like it though.
Yeah, I like it too,
Just
but
curious, how much are tickets? Not that bad.
see, that's awesome. Cause like
Adult standing room, $10.
I'll stand around.
Courtside club, 20. Suite tickets, 21.
Only 21.
VIP floor seating, 25. And children are 5.
Okay, so I'll take Tyler for 5, and then
Yeah, I mean, I look like a child. So.
yes, yeah.
No, but that's VIP, like floor seating for $25.
Amazing
Holy
prices
cow.
on stuff. Go check it all out, guys. All right, we'll be back with you. We're gonna do plan for the next show for
Yep.
Big Tens, and hey, maybe why not? Maybe ACC.
I was about to say, maybe ACC.
I mean,
Yeah.
so we'll
Maybe
get it.
SoCon.
SoCon. Yeah. What do you mean maybe? Yeah, it's gonna be there. All right, guys. See you.
Bye.